right, come this.
We're recording. Jeez, Chris. Take 472.
Who does the editing?
No, me. Well, we haven't edited yet, unfortunately. But after Chris's failed attempt to start this, I don't know how many times, he was taking photos of us. What kind of goofy mind are you?
We can sell those screenshots later.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know to who or for what.
Yeah. We're going to have to pay somebody. Can we tariff them? All right, so welcome in off the CLEAT this week. Thank you for this. What you just saw was going on for 5 minutes before this because of Chris's goofiness. But welcome in. Our guest this week is the very famous, very loved, very appreciated, good friend of all of ours, Mr. Phillip Chase from Waxahatchee Marina, famous home of the Cowboy Burger. So he's our guest this week. Summertime's here, so he decides to come around about this time of year, and then he drifts off in the fall. So he's coming around now. So we got him on the podcast, and this is a big week because the marina's opening up this weekend, the restaurant.
Yes, it opens Saturday at 10 o'clock.
Will the stress of Saturday be worse than the stress of trying to get ready for Saturday?
No.
Yeah, you've been working your tail off. We've seen you several times in the past few weeks at the meet and greet selling tickets for the boat giveaway, and it's always, I'm either coming from the marina, I'm going to the marina, or I'm going to pick up something before I go to the marina.
Right, but it happens that way. But once I get there, it's my happy place, and I love being there.
Yeah.
So no matter how busy it is or how busy, it's not going well, it's still okay. I mean, the bottom line is nobody's going to die if it takes a little longer for them to get their food. They're there having a good time anyway.
Yep.
The music's going,
I don't think I've ever had a complaint about length of time to get food there. From it being a slow Sunday afternoon to a slam-packed live music Saturday.
Well, you've created an atmosphere where that is no longer the issue. You are now a destination.
Right.
And I think about this when I get there and I look at the kids out there running around and playing all the games that you've set up. I see everybody talking and mingling. And those are the memories that long after we're gone, kind of like the Whistle Stop Cafe and what was that movie that, it's all, there you go.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's what everybody's going to remember from their childhood going on. It's like, I remember this place for whatever happens to it 50 years from now.
Right.
It is what it is now, and you are making memories with what you've created.
Well, when we started the design was to make it a family-friendly place.
Mm-hmm.
And I have children. Well, now they're adults. But when we went to places that they were happy, because if they're happy, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
And if they're out playing and they're not concerned about they don't have their French fries yet or whatever, you're not either.
Yeah.
And, so nobody's watching the clock per se because everybody's still having fun. And if you're on the lake and you're not having fun, you should probably go home.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to put it. If you're not having a great time, you might want to look in the mirror and figure out why and try to fix that, because there's nothing but a great time at the lake.
Be a good mirror right when you walk in the marina, Are you having a good time? If not, look again.
Yeah.
It's really simple that, there's no other place to be.
Yeah.
I don't go to the beach.
Not a beach guy
I hate
at all.
the sand.
Yeah, well, I could attest to that. I'll give you that one.
I love the lake. I love water. I love the mountains. But the sand just, in my former life, I used to be at the beach 5 days a week, 1 month out of the month, 1 week out of the month. And I put my feet in the sand probably twice in 6 years.
Wow.
Because I just don't enjoy sand.
We can totally relate. I'm just telling you, this has come up before, but I'm with you on that one. I do it because
the only thing about the staying at the beach house or the condo thing, the sand does drive you crazy. I agree with that, but like we'll go down a lot now. We take a boat down and stay on the bay. So if you get on the boat, go out, beach up, get back on the boat. The
you're
sand
staying on the lake.
Huh?
You're staying on the lake.
Exactly. Exactly.
I told my wife if we ever moved down there, it would be
Bay.
on the intercoastal,
Yeah.
to where you could walk off your pier, get on your boat just like you do here,
Yeah.
and you don't have to deal with
That's
the
true. It
sand.
is the same concept.
You know,
But the sand's not as invasive that way.
Right.
You don't notice how bad it is.
well, that's because
Stay-
you're at
stays
the
on boat.
lake.
Yes, exactly. That's right. There's probably sand out here we don't even know about, according to that. Probably a little muddy though.
Yes.
Muddy sand on the lake.
Well, there's so many good restaurants too.
Yeah.
Go by the water and beach up.
There's a whole
Well, now
bunch
we
of
have some on-
restaurants.
Oh yeah,
Lake.
you could open up a second restaurant down at the coast. Now we're talking. Yeah.
No, don't take them away
Boy,
from me.
boy,
exactly
that could
what
be your
I meant to
wintertime
do.
job when you're not running the marina. You go run another one.
No.
We needed to run
Be
one
it
up
be
this
it,
way.
be it the north and the Waxahatchee South or the I don't know, Waxahatchee Gulf of America or Mexico or I don't know what we're going to call it now. I mean, you'll be on intercoastal, so we've not renamed
Depends
that.
on who's here.
There's no controversy about
If,
that.
if it's Matt, it's the Gulf of Mexico. If it's other people, it's the Gulf of America.
Oh, okay. So we know you've had the marina for how long now?
This is our fourth season.
Fourth season. Okay. So what brought you down here, kind of, and then also what you said prior life? What was before Waxahatchee Marina?
I was in the alcohol business. I sold liquor, beer, and wine. And
What a retirement gig.
yeah,
You
well,
get a marina.
I retired,
Yeah.
and we looked at a house down here that we ended up buying, and we were going to flip it and take that money and the money we ended up using to buy the marina and send it to Tennessee and do some Airbnbs up there. And I wouldn't be down here working every weekend.
Yeah.
But I saw the marina over there, and I used to stop at the landing
Mhm.
and get food and
Or
go.
PVC pipe or
Well, I'd go over there and sit and eat and look out because it wasn't open at the
Yep.
time.
Mhm.
So it was just me, and I'd sit there looking out at the water, and it was just such a peaceful place for me. And, you know, then I found out that it was for sale, and the rest is history. So
Wow. So
instead of selling the house, we made it an Airbnb, put the rest of the money into the marina, and added the 2 Airbnbs there, and we didn't send anything to Tennessee.
no, okay. Well, I'm glad you kept it here.
We
'Cause you
kept
had-
all our money in that state of Alabama.
Man, did we look out or
Yeah.
what?
yeah, we look.
So,
Yeah, you've got a couple. I've seen I've seen both the ones you have to marina. Yeah, they're super nice places to rent. So those are rented by the night, I guess, by the
Yes.
weekend kind of
Uh-huh.
thing down there.
you
So-
can rent it by, I think it's 2-night minimum.
Mhm.
We've had people stay in them up to 6 weeks.
Really? Okay. Because everybody's always asking about a rental
Yeah.
place, and then you do have some RV lots, I believe, too.
We have one left.
Yeah, so they're always asking, where's some RV lots? Where's
Right.
this? And also boat storage. You have boat storage down there, both
Yes. We have dry and wet.
dry and wet. And you did also you took some of those wet slips down there, and you made a lot more parking for the restaurant. You know, because
Yes.
Chris was complaining about how he can't get his fries in a time there because it's so crowded.
Right.
Never
Well,
So-
complained about this.
So you
well,
you had
from
a,
what I understood, he couldn't park anyway.
that's right. That was the main
So-
thing. He got so,
And
Who
here
was
we go.
coming in to get him?
well. What it was is when he used to go down there and there was no parking, he got happy. He ain't got to do it. And then as soon as you open up all those wet slips for restaurant parking, his anger went through the roof. But there is a lot of parking down there. People may not realize that some of those slips, you got signage above them. You get
Yes.
close, you can tell. So I know there has been some stuff about parking there that have been said before. There is a good bit, and you've done this for most people too. You can call, make an order,
Yes.
pull right up to the dock by the fuel pump or the one over there by the boat launch,
Mhm.
and they'll walk your food down to you. You can go out and anchor out, listen to music, and eat. If there's no room to dock, you can do that.
100%.
We have been victims of that before too. Showed up and we're like, oh,
I believe y'all swam in one night.
yes,
One day.
yeah, we did. I had a float.
We like to float
Yeah.
sometimes.
They sat
Oh,
out
we
there
swam
and-
over with a float and put the food on a big float and
Yeah.
took it back.
Took it back.
But it was still delivered pier side though.
Yes,
Perfect.
it was. I wasn't swimming out there.
Next year we're gonna owe you some upgraded service. So come right on in.
Now, Waxahatchee Marina, is it the only marina on Lay Lake that has wet storage?
I can't answer that.
Wet covered because Paradise has
Covered wet
Paradise has
slips.
wet slips, but they're not covered.
That's
And then-
correct.
Bozo's doesn't have any wet slips.
Mm-mm.
It's
Does
just
Lacusa have wet slips?
wet, but they're not covered either.
Not
Okay.
covered. I think Waxahatchee's the only covered wet slips.
So I can
On-
take the
Yeah.
cover down and save a bunch of money.
No, I think you're an icon on the lake. Don't change it. I mean, no.
Yeah, I'm
Every
sure.
change you've ever made has made it better.
They
so
do
whatever
all have
changes.
power, so you can trickle charge your battery if you need to, and they're all lit at night.
Okay.
So we have the lights are on photo cell, so when it gets dark, they come on. So if you're out late, you can still see where you're
Nice.
parking. For some people,
Yeah, if you're going in late for a burger, Chris.
I will tell you, it's become Waxahatchee has definitely become our Sunday. Like we always go down there. We always get us something to eat and float.
Right. So well, let's get briefly off subject, but we're still kind of on subject. Chris, I want you to tell what happened Saturday, selling tickets at the beat real quick. Since Phillip, has called you out on your not being on the dock. Tell this story real quick of what happened.
Can't park either.
Yeah. Happened at Airport Marine. Thank you to all the people up there, Kenny, Ken, and all that. We did a little ticket sale up there for the boat that they partnered with us to give away, and we were doing that outside, having a good time, meeting some new people. And Chris, what happened?
All right, I actually had repressed this memory until just this moment, so that was out. But so there apparently there are a couple of people that have watched this, which is good. And we met a couple of people over at Airport Marine that were new boat owners and new to the lake. And it was great meeting them. They bought a couple of the tickets for the boat giveaway. We got to talking with them, and we're always love meeting new people, and that's fantastic. And Beth Livingston was with me, and she was handling all the paperwork. And I just came up in just my normal way where I just chime in on the conversation because I try to talk to everybody. So they said, well, we're buying tickets for this boat, but we just bought a boat, but this one, whatever the conversation was. So we're still learning. And Beth started saying, well, Chris right here can help teach you too. And before she could finish her sentence, the people we were talking to said, aren't you the guy that can't dock? So I want to make sure that everybody knows this story has been greatly exaggerated, okay? I can dock a boat.
Chris, your boat is that big and you can't park it. I mean, come on, man. It's not exaggerated. It's the truth.
Speaking of parking, I do want to say one thing, and this is the main thing I wanted to say about Phillip. I had my aunts that live next door to us. They're new to the lake also, and they recently got a boat. There was a medical condition that prevented them from being able to get on and off a boat very easily, but we wanted to come see you. That was one of the places that we wanted to go because it is, and I mean this when I say it, it's one of my favorite places to go on the lake. Mm-hmm. My wife called ahead and called you, and you made a spot available, and she was at that point where she needed a walker. I mean, everything is improved. Things are better. But you made sure she not only was able to get in a parking space, get from the dock to the eating area, you made that one of the most amazing experiences for her. And I will always be appreciative of that. Well, so thank you. And that's the kind of place Waxahatchee is.
I remember that well. And those are the things that we try to do.
Yeah. It is not forgotten.
Now, we did the fundraiser for JoJo last year.
Yes, which was a wonderful time. A weekend after the poker run, too.
Yes.
So
we
were like, you kind of called, so we're going to do this. And you're like, just come and hang out. I know you're wore out.
We are not doing it again.
Really?
I mean, we're going to have the throwdown on the lake, on the creek. But it was just too much. It was overwhelming.
It was
very overwhelming.
That was kind of my point I was getting at is the weekend after the poker run, which is huge.
Right.
I don't know if you could have crammed, another person as small as Chris in the marina that day. It was so packed.
Yeah.
It was. It was amazing. The turnout that weekend was amazing, and not to mention, especially following at the turnout the prior weekend. Right. So it was packed. It was amazing.
It was very overwhelming, and I was at the point where I needed something. And I came walking down the stairs, and there was a little girl named Remy. And I don't know if I can say her name on here or not, or her parents kill me. But
I don't know how to edit it.
It doesn't matter. Oh. They love me. And she was in a wagon, and I stopped to say hey. And I have an autistic grandson that is really high functioning. He speaks. He doesn't listen unless he wants to, but that's most kids. But,
he's a male.
Yes.
So there you go. Yeah. But we're a little hard-headed.
She is nonverbal. And when I saw her, I reached down to say hey to her, and her mom looked at me and I said, I know she's autistic. But it was what I needed to get me back down to where I needed to be. And it just put me on a level that everything else was going to be okay. And I went and got her a popsicle, and I still talk to her parents through texting once or twice a month, check on her, make sure they're doing well. And she's just an awesome little girl that it made me. And that's what we try to do there, is make an experience for whoever and however we need to do it.
That's unreal. So, it's two pretty solid stories about how good of a guy Phillip is. That honestly, from what you said, and you said he's not trying to brag about it. That's just who he is. That's I also we gotta pick it back up, man. No, but I love that, man. You're right. It is a family friendly place.
Well, Jason,
you don't have.
Always said if you do it for the right reasons.
Yep, that's true. That's when we started the book club. You see, do it for the right reasons, everything else will fall in place. But it is amazing that it's such a family friendly place on the lake. You don't have any issues down with people, and it's like a playground.
It fit right in. It fit right in with everything, and he just
fit right on the culture down here, the people, and
we're not set up to be a bar hangout, and we'll never be. Don't want to be.
Yeah, I mean,
I've been in that business, and that's not what I would prefer. I told people all the time, if the kids and the dogs had money, I wouldn't let the parents come. Just come drop them off, give them money.
New business.
I'm going to steal that.
But, because if the dogs and the kids are, to me, what it's all about.
Yeah.
I mean, I always have dog treats, and, you bring your dogs. I'm like, do you mind if I give your dog a treat? And everybody's like, absolutely. And it's just so much easier to do it with some passion than to just do it and try to make a living at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy, is hearing all these couple stories and all. It's like, I've always been this like mild talking, chill guy, and you're just talking in a long form conversation to get to know that a little bit more. What gets you rattled? And not like crazy, not like somebody beating a dog kind of bad, but like what gets you rattled and like enjoy?
That gets me rattled.
Oh, no.
I was about to say.
Maybe I shouldn't have worded it that way, but like something that's not important in life. Like, you got a sports team or a racing team, something like?
No, I mean, I'm from Texas.
Okay, so strike one.
And I say that I've been here 29 years.
How old are you?
60.
Strike two.
So, but
in 2 years he'll be longer, so he'll be that's right.
But so I mean, I'm a Ranger fan, a Cowboy fan, a Stars fan, a Longhorn fan.
Okay. So
I've been miserable for a long time.
Where, you said Cowboys, right?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You want me to get you an Auburn shirt? I can help.
Well, my daughter and her husband are counselors down at Auburn.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
No wonder the people come out of there were so terrible.
Yeah. But
Bishop.
She told me one time.
Jason.
I said, "How are they? Or how are your little tigers doing?" She goes, "They're not tigers yet. They're still cubs." Because she was doing the incoming freshmen.
Yeah.
She was like, "They're still just cubs, but they'll get there." I was like, "Okay," but.
So you're from Texas. You've been here 29 years.
Yes.
So are your kids born and raised here, or no? Obviously, they're older than 29.
Yes. None of my kids. I had one child born in Dothan.
Oh man, I got family in Dothan.
I used to own Cowboys down there.
Okay.
100 years ago, I owned Cowboys, and he was born in Dothan.
Okay.
And then the next son was born in Texas, and then my daughter was born in Texas.
Interesting.
And my oldest daughter was born in Oklahoma.
So Dallas area is where you're from, right?
Yes. Well, that's where I grew up in high school.
Okay.
I grew up. My father was in the Marine Corps, so I grew up all over the world.
Who else we had on the podcast? It's the same story. Who was that?
My mother.
Justin.
Maybe.
My mother, when she was alive, my father met her in London when he was working at the embassy, and so she was British. So, she had the British accent till the day she died.
That's cool.
I mean, so
any weird British food?
No.
Thank God.
Phillip, you do kind of have British hair. I think you could be like a duke or something with that hair.
The Duke of Waxahatchee?
Yeah.
There you go.
Waxahatchee Earl.
Yeah. Earl of the Cowboy Burgers.
I know when I go to get my hair cut, they're like, "Ooh, your hair's thick." I'm like, "Good. I hope it stays that way."
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Holy mackerel! So I don't think you said it. How'd you end up in Alabama though? Just the Cowboys and Dothan opportunity?
No, I was in Dothan, and I moved back to Texas, and I was working for a company called Tia's Tex-Mex, and they got bought out by Ruby Tuesdays.
Okay.
And they went to open a Tia's at the Galleria.
Really?
Which became Bonefish.
Okay.
When Tia's closed, it became Bonefish. And I moved out here and went to work for them.
And that's how you ended up, right?
And that's how I ended up in Alabama.
And did that then you got in the liquor and alcohol sales business here, and then that's when you went into the marine.
My oldest son played baseball, and I was missing a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
Because of the restaurant business. And I told my wife that I would have a different job before the next baseball season. And I ended up going to work in the liquor, beer, and wine business.
Interesting. That's cool.
So,
speaking of, there's a couple on the table here that that were brought.
Didn't even notice.
That were brought. A very special batch pick by you, I believe. Correct?
I was one of 8 that went up and did the tour at Buffalo Trace and did the.
Not in a canoe, right?
No. And no, it wasn't flooded at that time.
Thank God that thing's back up running.
Yes.
Think about a national crisis. If that was wiped out, there'd be some problems.
Yes, there would.
There'd be some problems.
But can we talk about that? Because I mean, a lot of us, including me, have never seen the Weller bag for this particular one.
Do you know Caleb Burnett?
Yes, I love him through some bourbon chatting, and I met him actually at your marina for the first time.
He is you of the Bourbon Club.
Oh.
He's got a better gig.
You know,
It's like that Morgan
he had.
I don't know if they can see that.
He had he put in every year to do a pick, and he ended up getting picked to do a full proof. And he came in.
Oh, it's waxed.
Well, they do that. We went up and there was 4 barrels, and you tasted all 4, and then you went down to 2, and then you retasted the 2. You talked about them, and then you end up picking the one that you're going to do, and then everybody signs that barrel so that you know it's yours. You put your stickers on it and stuff so that it doesn't get confused and you end up with something that you didn't do. And then when they bring it back, they end up doing the wax, and they put this stamp on the top, which is their little logo.
Central Alabama Bourbon.
Yeah, that's their logo.
Okay, that's a keeper.
And then he went and got the bags for it, like the Pappy has the bags and stuff. And this one is Morgan Weller, and it's got Morgan Wallen on the label.
Yeah, we're not gonna say everything about it's perfect.
So, but
man, it's got a couple good songs, man.
But
this will be the last podcast you're on talking like that.
But so it does well, and they do some stuff too for some charities.
Mm-hmm.
They did a end human trafficking one where they did a barrel pick and donated some of that money to somebody.
Bullets and ammo.
That's
what human traffickers deserve.
100%.
Yeah, that's what they deserve.
I call them pedophile pills.
Yeah. Sometimes the bigger ones are better in that form as opposed to when you're taking medication. The bigger pedophile pills better than a smaller one. So how long has it been? Has it been about a time?
I have it, yes. 24.
Apparently,
we got a few minutes. We can keep. Yes.
Yeah, let's keep.
We say that, and then we'll be at 40 like that.
Well,
So what do you do for? So you leave us in the winter, right?
I'm not done yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We've had a lot of people tell us we need to be open on Friday night. and we are going to start opening on Friday night.
Whoa!
Are you kidding?
We're so excited.
It will be obviously not this Friday.
Yeah. Yes, not tomorrow.
Yes,
we're recording this, sorry, but not tomorrow.
Yes,
they're open Saturday this week.
But you're doing the meet and greet on the 10th.
I took vacation for that.
Okay.
I did take vacation for the meet and greet.
So the 9th we will be open.
Nice.
May 9th. We'll open Friday from 4 to 8.
Oh, that's amazing. So you get laid out.
I don't know if I can air fist bump everybody.
We've been, we hear y'all. We try to do what we can do. And, somebody said, well, what happens if it don't work? I said, well, if it doesn't work, we won't do it.
Yeah, there you go.
We can try and,
I think it will. You open at 4. That means people getting off early on Friday can go down there for an early dinner.
If it doesn't work, then we'll stop doing it. But it's worth a chance. To,
so the normal menu is Saturday and all, just like Saturday.
There will probably be a special item here or there.
Yeah, okay.
We may do a grilled pork chop or something like that. But it won't be something that gets stupid.
Yeah.
Because of the limited space that we have. You just can't. You just can't do.
Yeah, well, I was asking that for the other reason. I thought you made it say, well, Friday night will be a trim down menu just to keep it simple.
Right.
You say you may add some specialties. So
right.
I was going the other way with that question. I'll be happy with chicken fingers and some fries.
Right.
You ain't got to even have the cowboy burger, maybe.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Watch your mouth.
Blasphemy. I know the Pope's not with us anymore. But
and the chicken sandwich has made some changes. It will now be cowboy style.
Does that mean like
so
the burger?
The grilled chicken sandwich will be dressed exactly like the burger.
Oh, now that.
It'll have the bacon, the cheese, the queso, the jalapenos, the grilled onions.
Okay.
Whoa!
So,
shit. Sorry.
Well, now we're gonna edit. Where's the edit button?
I wasn't hungry until about literally 6 seconds
Chris,
ago.
we were trying to keep the budget low. We bought some $80 microphones. We're not going to get the editing equipment, the good sound equipment, and now you just made us have to get it before Thursday, I think.
All I know is I'll never be skinny for the rest of my life.
No, we'll be chowing down.
But, we'll see what happens with it, and I believe it'll do well. And
I think it will too.
We'll go from there.
That's great.
And,
I know you had threatened that a couple of years ago.
Yes,
you did threaten it, and I was like,
but you heard it first
but here,
on this podcast.
Yes,
yeah.
But he was joking. He threatened joking me a couple of years ago. He made us open, on Friday night and do something, and it was really a tongue-in-cheek joke because it was because the marina wasn't doing what it's doing now, and now here you are. You're in your 4th season. You're like, we may can do more, branch out, and have another night.
And when we posted that we were opening Saturday, the feedback that we've gotten, quite frankly, is a little scary.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't this the first? Is this the first thing you've opened a little earlier?
This is our 2nd year, or the 3rd year maybe.
Because 1 year is a little later in May.
Well,
I think.
the first year we bought it, we literally got it 3 days before Memorial Weekend.
I remember that.
And we opened Memorial Weekend.
I remember that.
And they were like, "There's no way you'll get open," and I'm like, yes,
that's
we
one of the
will.
biggest weekends this summer. It's called a business. It's happening.
Yes, we'll be open. And that was the day that I learned that I loved jet skis because they burn a whole lot of fuel.
Oh yeah,
I'll never forget. It was Memorial Weekend, so I was down at the gas pump a lot. There were 4 guys, and I say guys, and Trey Hollis may be one of them.
Okay.
He comes a lot, and I think he was in that group. But there were 4 of them, and they were there, Saturday, and they came back and got gas again. And then Sunday, they came back and got gas. And then Monday, only 3 of them came back. And I was like, "Where's the 4th one?" And they said, "Well, I think he had a little too much, and he's not getting out." I said, "Well, you tell him he owes me $50." Because they were spending $200 every time they pulled up. And then it was only $150. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But I learned that day that jet skis and the wake boats and, the people in the pontoons with the 300s and the 400s that really like to get out and go are awesome.
Yeah.
You know, because they burn a lot of fuel.
Yeah, and you got to fuel up, and you can do it there 24/7.
Yes, you can.
Which wasn't the case then, because you said you were pumping it for them.
Yes.
So about the time you're back, well, this isn't going to work. I better put in a card machine.
We added that the second year, and it's been good. And I found a different fuel person that is 24/7 for us. So
ran out before,
you know. I mean, you can't make, or we can't make a 3-day weekend without getting more gas.
Wow.
It just, we don't have a big enough capacity.
You see all the boats on the water. I mean, it makes sense.
You know, we have 1,500 gallons, so it's not like
that's really not that much,
right? So we really cannot get there without running out.
I mean, my boat.
We buy gas every time we go there.
My boat holds 30 gallons, and that's on the small end of tanks on the lake. That's a small tank.
So he will come down. I send him a text and say, "Hey, I need gas in the morning."
Yeah.
And the first time I did it, he sent me back. He goes, "Do you mind if I come tonight?"
Even better.
You go right ahead. So he comes down, and he's got everything he needs to be able to pump gas for us. Takes a picture of what he put in, goes home, sends me a bill, gets paid, and life's good.
That's nice.
So it makes it a lot simpler, because no matter how good a time you're having on the lake, if you run out of gas, it turns pretty quick.
Yeah. That may be those people that if I have fun on the lake, they need to go home.
Right.
You're out of gas.
I need to go home.
Yeah.
Because everybody gets mad if you're out of gas.
Yeah.
So I do have a question on the jet ski things. Because we had one of the guys that came that Justin Atwell and Jason and them talked about. One of the things about the marinas that haven't necessarily adapted to the jet ski surge that's happened. Are there places, like a lot of times just the docks having the second board, or jet ski ports are like really expensive.
Yes, they are.
But just having that second board so they don't get the rash, so you can put a couple here and a couple there. Is that something that maybe?
Well, we have on the far side of where the slough is, there's like 3 little poles there that a lot of people will tie up to.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay.
But I mean, they've been there forever.
Right.
But people get very creative when they need to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like when, the poker run or whatever, there may be 3 pontoons over there all tied together, and they just walk from one to the next one to the next one to get to the dock to walk up to do what they need to do.
We're veterans of that.
So,
we're all pros.
We know what we're doing.
They get very creative, and and that's okay, and that's awesome. But
floating docks are very, very expensive, and you would not. I would not want them at my business, probably, with people just
it's just
hitting them. They don't know kids on jet ski, inexperienced riders.
They take up a lot of space too.
And if they hit it wrong, there goes your insurance.
Yeah,
because
they'll land up there. They'll land up there with Kenny Shirley or somebody playing music.
But it has to be your fault because it's your piece of equipment.
Yeah,
and so we try to avoid that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Probably not a bad idea.
I like the pole thing though.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty.
But there's 3 poles over on the right where all the turtles are. We're off the side where the band plays.
Yep.
Where we feed the kids, feed the turtles and the fish and stuff.
Oh, that'd be good. All the jet skis come and start tossing food over, so that got turtles going up there scaring everybody
every day.
Don't give me an idea.
We feed them every day. We feed the fish and the turtles over there and stuff, and
they probably stay around.
Oh, they don't go anywhere.
No.
So,
well, anything else we want to talk about?
I want to. Phillip, you came out to Airport Marine the other day, and we talked, and you actually met a couple of patrons of your place. I want to just throw out there. This is just something that I've thought about. Is I get that we're all looking for ways to cut the budget of boating and the cost of gas and things like that. But I want to throw out there that I think everybody needs to support our local marinas on this lake. I get it that you can probably get gas cheaper if you haul it from your truck to here and there and everything like that. But these marinas that we rely on and that we enjoy, all right. I think everybody needs to make an effort to do what they can to support the marinas, and I know that I do, but that doesn't mean that
and all the marinas appreciate it.
And
if
that's
you
right.
don't, you end up with a back like his.
Yeah. Well,
and nobody wants that.
It's kind of need to have not had this conversation, at all. But this year, I have put gas in my boat one time with gas cans.
Yeah.
And I've been to multiple marinas and gassed up. And I've realized it is a lot easier on my back. It's easier on time. So that's something I've done this year, and I've just out of convenience. And I've realized that, and then to piggyback on what you said, it's going to keep these people going.
That's right.
It convenience cost.
It does.
It just does. I mean, I know that
it's not cheap, but it's inexpensive.
Right. That's correct.
Yeah.
I don't know Cedar Creek. I don't know what they're called now.
But
we just bought gas over there too.
I did last week. We need to find out what's going on.
He just put in a 24-hour pump. And they're expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, they cost a lot of money to put in.
Yeah. The full gas pump and the service for the car. I imagine it is.
It's just, and then like my phone number is up on the wall. If there's a problem, they call me, and, I got a call the other day, and I said, well, what's it doing? And it says, see cashier. And I said, is he using a debit card? And she was like, yes. I said, is he pushing no when it says, is this a debit card? And she goes, no, he's pushing yes. I said, well, there's a sign right there that says push no.
I think you put that sign up for me.
And if you push no, it works. I mean, the pump everything is a credit card.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any difference to you. It comes out of your account the same way. But there's a little sign there that says push no.
That's pretty funny. You're telling that. It's really good public service announcement. You get gas at Waxahatchee. But it's also, it's probably, you got such a habit because that's what you do all the time in your car.
100%.
And you had to call the cashier on this occasion and say, hey, dummy, push the other button.
No.
Well, I'm just, there's a lady, the lady in the gas station when I did it called me a dummy.
Well,
I was filling up my truck in the morning. Hey, dummy, you got to press this on there. So you're not going to get called dummy on the phone. Call him.
Well, depends on who it is.
Chris, you're not calling him.
I mean, Chris could call me and I'd be like, put Debbie on the phone. I'll explain to her how to operate it, and we just go from there.
Yeah.
And if she chose to call him a dummy, then that would be on her.
And then we get someone else to talk about.
This is the best guest we've had so far. He's made fun of you more than I have. This is great.
He actually listens.
We're gonna have insults. This week's insults for Chris with Phillip.
But just be patient with us this weekend.
Probably got a new crew. Everybody's first weekend and all.
Most of them are repeats.
Repeat offenders.
We've got a couple new people, but as a whole, they're the same people that were there last year.
Okay, the service is great.
But they've been off, 5 or 6 months.
You're gonna be rusty.
It's gonna be.
Yeah. And you decided to jump in. Right in. You didn't go preseason. You went right on in the season.
Well.
No warm-up games or nothing. Saturday in May, let's go.
The thing is, if you're going to do it, you might as well get the kinks worked out as soon as you can. And quite frankly, we opened earlier so that we could get them worked out before Memorial weekend when we first started. What it's ended up doing for us is giving us another holiday.
Yeah,
because everybody's so excited about coming that we end up doing well.
Nice.
So
National Waxahatchee Day.
There's a National Everything Else Day.
Well, I know, but why not that?
I don't know why we couldn't have one.
Yeah.
Give it a couple of years. I'll see it on Good Morning America.
Executive order.
Yeah,
we can do executive orders here. We got Sharpies right now.
That's right.
So I guess we've been over 30 minutes. I think we got the signal a few minutes
yes,
ago.
we were.
So we probably I told you we'd shoot past our target at some point.
We wouldn't. With Phillip, I knew. I was blocking out an hour in my mind.
So everybody signs the wall. So executive order that we will have a national holiday for opening day of Waxahatchee. Okay. Sign. It's one of the bricks flying anyway. Yep. So like I said, thank you for watching Off the Cleat. Appreciate everything. Comment in this or on the Facebook when I post it. Any feedback, kind of stuff like that.
Questions? Any questions?
Any questions and all. We will see y'all. A lot of y'all. We'll see y'all Saturday. Waxahatchee Marina's open, full restaurant and all. And the boat club and all will be back there the following Saturday for a meet and greet. And summer's here. Let's be safe. Have fun. Wear your life jackets. If you have kids on the boat, navigation, anchor lights at night, all that stuff. Let's stay safe. It's about to get busy. There's so many problems this summer. We'll see y'all this weekend.